Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. Fatal Fury, Tottenham Hotspur Football Ground. These are my thoughts in the fight week. Yesterday was the grand arrivals, and Mr. Eubank kept people waiting, but yeah, he was there, and so was Conor Benn. In my opinion, from what I've seen so far of the press conferences, Chris Eubank has dominated the press conferences, and he's always been a good talker, far more articulate than Conor is. But he has dominated Conor in every way possible. He's dominated Conor and kept Eddie Hearn quiet. So he's wrapped those two up very nicely. At the same time, getting across his point in an articulate manner, which has got the fans looking at Conor Benn as the drug cheat and wanting answers. I'm sure many people in the world want to know what the truth is about the PED saga, which Conor Benn is refusing to talk about, which is his prerogative. However, the slap with the egg reinforced the doubts within the minds of the British public as to the claims that it was because Conor had too much eggs in his system. Now, I don't want to go into too much about it, but the fact of the matter is, Conor got slapped with an egg and he had egg on his face. But from Eubank's perspective, he's like, you made me come down to 157 in the first fight. This fight got cancelled because you were caught cheating. There have been question marks regarding Conor's performances against Chris Algieri and Samuel Vargas, the knockouts, the violent knockouts he had. And since the PED discovery and the ban, subsequent matches at light middleweight, Benn has not looked as explosive. One particular pundit says he was juiced up. So Eubank is making it very clear and letting it be very known that Conor is a drugs cheat, and he will not let him. And he's almost playing as if he is the saviour for British boxing when it comes to getting rid of people who are drug cheats, as Conor Benn. So the rehydration clause is an interesting one, because while they're arguing over these £10, Eubank has made his point about £12. The IBF ruling is £12. Inside the contract it says £10. Don't be surprised, in my opinion, if Eubank comes in up to £12 heavier and not £10 heavier and pay the fine afterwards. There's no way they will cancel this fight. Absolutely no way they cancel this fight. So I believe Eubank will come in heavier than what the contract says. That's what I think. I don't think he's going to put himself in such a dangerous position to allow Benn to have such an unfair advantage. So on the night, Conor could be facing a fully hydrated Chris Eubank, I think. I don't know how he'll go about doing it, but I think he'll take full advantage of the situation. Though, are they going to cancel the fight Saturday morning? Yeah, it might be a hefty fine. It's getting paid. What, they're going to fine him $1 million for it? It's getting paid more than enough money. And if it's a 2-fight deal, I mean, you beat him up the first fight, you take the rematch and you beat him up again. If the rematch is even going to happen. I say this as to say, I've studied fighters over years, and one of the things I study is about their body language, their disposition, how they approach fights, their mental setup. All these things are important for me when it comes to the fight itself. Often fights are won before they get in the ring. Mike Tyson was excellent at intimidating fighters beforehand, before he got in the ring. So by the time he got in the ring, they were scared, so scared, they were just in survival mode. So Mike just went in there and finished taking their souls. That's what Mike was great at. George Foreman another, Sonny Liston, Guys that just intimidated you before the first bell rang. Now, I'm not saying Eubank is one of those guys, but you can tell. You can tell about the way a person conducts himself and carries themselves, articulates themselves, whether they're talking for talking's sake or they're talking because they really believe what they're saying. And for what I've seen of Eubank across the press conferences, he has been very direct, very honest, and he's almost like a bull in the china shop in the sense that this is what it is, this is how it goes, and I will not be distracted by Eddie Hearn, and I will not be distracted by Conor Benn. This is what it is, and I'm not standing for any nonsense. And if that's the mentality he has, I want to take you back to the second face-off where Eubank squared up to Conor, and it's very clear. When he squares up to Conor, yeah, or maybe the first press conference, he squares up to Conor. He says, what? And he looks at Conor. Very physical. And Conor's kind of smiling off. And Chris dips and throws this egg into Conor's face. The whole physicality behind that tells me the mindset that Eubank is going to take the fight to Conor Benn. He's not going to allow Conor to come to him. Now, for me, this is a dangerous fight for Conor Benn. People talk about Benn being the punching power stuff. Benn is a very small middleweight. If you listen to Benn, yesterday he was talking, I have these fights at 160 and I'm going to drop back down for my world title at 147. Kept saying it. Interviews yesterday, kept saying it over and over and over again. He's already talking about dropping back down to 147 and fighting for the world title. That should not be your focus. Your focus should be just beating Chris Eubank, not going back down to 147. That should not be your focus. And the way he's talking, I'm a trier, I give it my best shot, then the promoters now going, this is a 50-50 fight. Well, it's a 50-50 fight, but before you were talking about, are you going to smash Eubank? Now it's a 50-50 fight. Oh yeah, I'm still going to smash him. I'm nervous about all my fights. But Conor's energy looked off yesterday, completely off. Looked completely off. Does not look a guy who believes in himself. He looks like a guy who's been spoon-fed a script to keep saying over and over again. To tell himself or believe, he can believe in it, that he's going to win the fight. But even the things he's saying at this level, where he's never boxed anywhere near this level before, the experience is what is necessary for fights like this, to hold together when it's a big fight. He's never been in an atmosphere like this. He's never been in a fight as big as this. So not to mention that it's a big fight. Not only is a big fight, it's family matters. Do you understand? So he has had nothing to prepare him for these fights. Oh, he had 2 fights at light middleweight, which, by the way, he looked terrible in. Didn't look great in those 2 fights at light middleweight. And I don't understand this thing. People say that Ben's going to just walk in and punch and knock Eubank out. See, for me, there's a big problem in this fight for Conor Benn. If Eubank comes in, as I think he will do, and walks straight towards Conor Benn, Conor can't fight off the back foot. Conor can't fight off back foot, and he can't defend himself against the ropes. So Conor's got a big problem. If Eubank just steps towards Conor, he shuts Conor down straight away, because Conor's best attributes is when he's on his front foot and he's firing off shots and he's taking it to Eubank. And if Eubank uses physicality, he goes and takes the fight to Conor. First of all, Conor has not got the leverage then to throw the big punches. He can't load up those big shots because he's too busy having to deal with a jab that's pushing him back. Conor cannot block a jab. That's the first thing. He can't block a jab. He blocks his jabs with his elbows. He cannot block a left jab, much less a right hand or an uppercut. So if Conor does come in, he's going to get hit with the uppercut. If he steps back, he gets hit with the left jab and a right hand down the pipe. He cannot block punches. He cannot defend against these shots. He cannot block against. He was getting hit by Dobson by the uppercut and getting hurt by Dobson with an uppercut. Yeah? So imagine what he's going to have to do with a guy who's fighting middleweight. I don't hear nonsense about Conor's coming up 2 weight divisions. He's coming up 1 weight division. He said he was 153, 154 when he fought at light middleweight. So he knew the Eubank fight was coming. So he is only jumping up one weight division, not two weight division. So the excuses are coming. But for me, it's body language, the way he's been. Maybe he'll be better at the public workout today. But for me, experience. You haven't fought for a British title. You haven't fought for a Commonwealth title. You haven't fought for a European title. You know, and nobody knows what Conor Benn's going to do at middleweight. What's he look like? Oh, he's been knocking people out in sparring. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Oh, he looks great in sparring. I heard he got knocked out in sparring, but I don't know how true that is. I just want to see how Ben takes the first punch, the first jab, the first right hand. How do you take to that? How do you take a guy physically walking him back and looking to knock him out and make short work of him? So I say, you know, Eubank is this and Eubank is that, and Conor's going to have to get past the jab. So if you can get past the jab, you're going to have to get inside of Eubank and work on the inside. Is Eubank going to allow him that with the height and the reach? The only way I see Conor Benn knocking Chris Eubank out is if Eubank's back is against the ropes and Conor slips inside. But from long distance, Conor Benn doesn't win this fight. Conor Benn's got to get close to Eubank, and in doing so, he will take hell for leather. He will take shots. Is he durable enough to take those punches? Is he durable enough? Is he brave enough to come through the onslaught of punches he's going to take? I see this fight now, from what I'm seeing from the press conferences and from what I'm seeing Eubank so far, I think this is a mismatch. I think Conor could get stopped within the first four. I'm not joking, because he's never been in a situation or a fight where the opponent is there to win. He's never been in a fight where he's been in a position where, you know, there's so much on the line, so much pressure on him to perform at a higher weight category. So Conor could come steaming out, but if Conor cannot get Eubank out of there, or he's unable to get to Eubank, then the question has to be asked, what can Conor Benn do on the back foot? And not very much. When he jabs, he leaves his left hand down when he jabs. He's all open to the left hand side of himself. The right hand the same way. He leaves himself open to uppercuts. He's defensively very flawed, and his defense is what will save him in this fight. And his attack. Because when he's trying to be offensive, he's going to get hit with shots. He's going to get hit with uppercuts, jabs, hooks. He won't get out of the way of punches. And the fact he can't get out of the way of punches, it's different when Eubank and Benn fought. Eubank and Benn fought the first time, but they were both middleweights. This is not two middleweights. This is a welterweight coming up to fight a middleweight. So, to me, if Eubank decides to say, you know what, and he's a man who will do what he wants. So, it's Eubank versus Benn, not Benn versus Eubank now. It's Eubank versus Benn. So Eubank may do what the hell he wants coming into this fight, which I expect him to not give a damn about the weight that everyone's making a fuss about. Coming at 12 pounds under the IBF, and I think that he may deal with a fine afterwards. That's what I think. But let's see how the public workout looks today. But I think Eubank will have some more tricks up his sleeve for the public workout. I just think he dominates Benn, wraps him up and sends him home inside 6, maybe inside 4. It's experience. Conor may make a lot of mistakes in the lead up to this big fight this week, where Eubank's been here, he's seen it, he's done it, he's experienced. He's got height, he's got reach, he's got physical power, and he's a better boxer. In my opinion, I think this is a mismatch. Unless Eubank has seriously regressed and starts backing up against the ropes voluntarily, and Benn is able, so powerful that he can walk through Eubank and everything Eubank throws and can get Eubank against the ropes. Other than that, no, I don't see Benn causing the sort of damage that is expected, that people expected. I could be wrong. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Thanks for watching this video. You've been watching BWTM Sports Gaming. Thanks.